Hello, welcome to Muse Mode episode 5. And today we're going to be talking about why messy action is better than no action. And actually, this video right now is the perfect example of that because I'm filming this really late. It's like 6 o'clock my time, so the sun is going down. But this video has to get filmed today because I have to edit it tomorrow and there's no other time for me to do it. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the point is this video has to be recorded today or it won't get done this week. And so messy action is better than no action. And I think I've made the lighting look pretty good anyway. And we're going to roll with it. So let's talk about that. So the first thing I want to talk about is taking the first step. Messy action is still action. You are still moving the needle, even if you're not moving perfectly, even though we know that perfection is not real. I always think about the Abraham Hicks analogy where she talks about, say to a baby, get up, little dummy. When the baby is learning to walk, because you know that the baby is just beginning. He's just trying to take his first steps. And you have to be just as patient with yourself as you would a baby. And one habit that I know that a lot of us get into is we start overthinking the small choices and the small decisions. It's so exhausting. They'll come to me, they'll be like, do you think I should use the dark blue background or the light blue background? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'm decision fatigued. Just trust your intuition and move forward. Decision fatigue is so real. And this is honestly something I need to make another video about. But anything that I can put on autopilot, I will. I don't want to have to make simple decisions every day. I don't want to have to overthink things that don't need to be overthought. I've pared down my wardrobe a lot. I still love fashion. I still love getting dressed up, but I just buy a few pieces and I just make them work. I just have a few basics that I go to time and time again for different situations because I don't want to have to overthink those things. And sometimes I know for me, I'll be like, ooh, this or that. And then I'm just like, whatever. I'm down to the point with the small decisions. It's like, it doesn't really matter. If it wasn't the right one, I'll learn later and we'll just keep moving. But you have to just start and make decisions. Don't overthink the small decisions. They don't need to be overthought. One quote that I love is the fortune favors the bold. And fortune absolutely does favor the bold. It doesn't even matter if the action was not the right one or you took a really big leap, but just you taking it and making steps in the direction of your desires is going to get you closer to what you want because it's going to bring more clarity and also lessons so that you can see okay, well, if I want to go this way, doing that took me a little too far to the left and I'd like to be a little more to the right. So this next time when I take an action, I'm going to do it this way, or I'm going to do this action this way this time. And that helps build your confidence and move you closer towards what you want. It's the clarity of it all. When I was graduating high school, I didn't know at all what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but I knew I was good at science and math. So I just went to school for engineering. Now, was that my calling? Was that my passion? No, absolutely not. But I knew it was going to make me money and it would ultimately bring me closer to what I really wanted to do whenever I figured out what it was. And I did. And I learned a lot of things while I was in engineering school. I learned a lot of things working in sales as a sales engineer that helped prepare me for this. And it also brought me clarity to know that I don't want a 9 to 5. I don't want to do math every day. I don't want to have to sit at a desk. I don't want to cold call. It showed me what I did not want out of life. But if you don't take any action, it's going to be hard for you to experience that contrast to know what you really do want out of life. Next time I want to talk about the fear of failure because I feel like that comes up a lot when we are thinking about taking action or we're delaying taking an action. And a lot of those fears just aren't real. They don't matter. Oh, people are going to talk about me. So what? They're already talking about you, babe. They probably already are. It's a part of life. What if no one cares? On this big ass planet, somebody is gonna care. If you care, there's at least one other person in the trillions of people on this planet that will also care. What if I lose money? Money is infinite. You will always get it back. Just go to the ocean to be reminded just how abundant God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is. You can get back your $500, your $2,000, whatever it is. The money will always come back to you. But you're gaining so much in lessons and clarity and getting closer to what is really for you when you take action, messy or not. And I always tell people this: look at nature, look at the ocean, look at our bodies and how our body is able to replenish and process food, and the planet keeps spinning in perfect orbit. All of this happens, and you don't think that you can get your little $500 back from God that you put in to try something? You'll be okay. And also, when you remember fortune favors the bold, you're gonna get it back. You always get back what you lost. And even if it takes time to get it back, you always get back what you lose and then some. Because not only are you now going to be getting what you lost back, you're also going to be getting everything based off of what you've learned and what you've already put in. And understand that mistakes are a blessing. Mistakes are lessons. That's all they are. They're not anything to be afraid of. They're blessings. I remember earlier in my influencer career, like I would be negotiating contracts, and obviously everything wasn't perfect, but I probably missed out on maybe like $500 to $1,000 over that first 2 years of money that I could have got. But they taught me lessons that when I started getting five-figure deals, that I was able to make sure that I was getting the money that I deserved and more. So yeah, I lost a few $100s when I was figuring it out in the first few years, but I got it back and then some. And I'm also able to tell other people the things that I learned and I went through my mistakes. So your mistakes are a blessing, and they also are lessons for you to help other people move through what they're going through and also to use as you continue on in your journey. And I would always rather learn a cheap lesson than an expensive one. Oh my God, it's getting darker and darker, guys. But I still think the lighting looks good. Good enough. Next thing I want to talk about is last night I was, oh, so I told you guys how last night I went out. So we were at a bar and it was really slow because the Lions were playing their game. So everybody was at the Lions game, or they were somewhere where there was a TV and we were somewhere where there was not a TV. Anyways, they started playing spades. I have not played spades in 5 years, but I agreed to play anyway. And I was like, okay, I just need to learn again, guys. I'm a little rusty. I don't really remember anything. So I'm figuring out, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm like, first of all, this is a game. We're just here to have fun. It's not that serious. And with every round, I was getting more confident because I was really learning the rules of the game and seeing how things go and seeing how, oh, when I did that didn't really work out. But I knew that it was going to work out for me. Like, I knew the game was going to go well. We were playing against two people that were very talkative, trash talk. One of them was a Gemini, y'all. Geminis talk too much. Anyways, Gemini men talk too much. And so they're like trash talking. They're like, oh man, like if you know spades, you know this terminology, but they're basically talking about like, oh, you guys, like, we shouldn't have got that book. Like, we shouldn't have won that round. And like, oh man, you guys are cutting each other, which basically means that like we weren't playing in sync with each other. And I was like, I wasn't focused on that. I'm like, I'm focused on my game. I'm focused on my partner. I know she's doing her best, and I'm doing my best with with the hand that we have. They're just trying to talk and get in our head. Like, that doesn't matter to me. I know that I'm doing my best, and I know that I'm learning this game. And actually, we're doing well. We were literally neck and neck with them. And at the end of the game, we ended up winning. And it was because for the last round, we were tied that we had to basically over bet a little bit because we had to take that risk if we wanted to win. And we're like, well, whatever, we're just having fun. Like, let's just risk it. Because if we get it, then we're going to win. If we don't, then we don't. And sure enough, we actually did end up winning. And to me, that was just another reminder. And I think a good story for me to be able to tell you guys today of how you don't have to be an expert to win. I hadn't played spades in over 5 years and we won. And my best friend, she was a little rusty too. And that people will doubt you, but you have to trust your journey and know that just you taking action is getting you towards whatever it is that you want. Just you getting those reps in is building your confidence and your competence. That's why I always say you're building your confidence and your competence. You want both. And last thing I want to say is every action compounds. That's what I've learned over this last 4.5 years that I've been a content creator. Every action compounds. You're not losing anything. Everything you've experienced, everything you've done in your entire life, it's a compounding experience. All those things that I learned at my previous jobs, in my previous roles, like all of that compounds. You don't lose it. Even all my L's, it compounds. The more action you take, the more confidence you build. The more you hesitate, the more fear builds up in other areas of your life and you stop taking risks. And all of a sudden, instead of compounding confidence, you're compounding cowardice. And it's a new year, y'all. You may not be watching this like at the top of the year, but this is coming out at the top of 2025. It's a new year. It's time to start taking more action. Take action every day, even if it's a baby action, even if it's filming a YouTube video in bad lighting. Take the action because you are worth it. Your future is worth it. Future you is depending on you taking this action. And it may seem really small, but there's been so many little actions that I've taken that seemed like nothing. And then 2 years later, a new client will reach out to me and they're like, oh yeah, I found you from this. And I'm like, that little thing that I did 4 years ago or whatever. Or I was referred to somebody that you worked with 6 months ago on this little baby project or whatever. Or um, it's just things like that that compound and really help take you to the next level. And also, this is specifically to content creators. I want to say this statement. I know that sometimes our videos don't do that well, but understand that every single piece of content you are building proof to yourself and to your potential new audience of who you are and what you can do. And when you do finally go viral, when you do have that big moment, then people want to go back and binge all your content. It's there because you've been taking those little actions every day. Just take it one step at a time and the rest will unfold perfectly. I promise. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. Um, if you can, in the comments, leave down below anything that you've been putting off starting and you are going to start in the new year. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.